premiere of the Membership Action Plan website big reveal. It's a preview tonight. I'm so excited to be here, and I can't wait for you to see this and be able to use it. It is the most amazing membership action tool you're ever going to see. Listen to the crowd. It's going to be a wonderful night. Thanks for being here. Take care. Bye.
Well, welcome everybody, and I hope you enjoyed that preview of what's to come. And welcome in particular, of course, President-elect Gordon. Gordon, I have to say, as you know, I may look like a Scotsman on the outside, but I'm not a true Scotsman wearing banners. So we've had that conversation already, but it's really great to have you here today. I know you're smiling. I know you're smiling for a couple of reasons. I know you're happy to be here, but I also know you're particularly happy that your beloved Scottish rugby side had such an amazing win in the Calcutta Cup on Saturday. With one of the best tries I've ever seen in the rugby history. And of course, that's when my Englishman Simon come up, because the Calcutta Cup is an annual event, which is Scotland against England. But as my leader, Gordon, I'm happy for you as well. So congratulations. So it was an absolutely amazing international assembly, and you're going to hear the perspective of some of our district governors-elect a little later, one from each zone. And we're also, of course, delighted to be able to hear that and to have Rotary International President-elect Gordon with us to talk about his games and goals in more detail later. I want to also recognize our training leaders did, again, a tremendous job there. And they're on the call today, I believe, not all of them, some. Past District Governor Art and Ginge did a tremendous job. It was their first year. Chris Jones, Past District Governor Chris Jones and Colleen from Zone 33. And also our wildcard Rotary International Director nominee, Patrick and Kirsten, stepped in and did a tremendous job, as well as training leaders. Also, I want to recognize that for the second time, someone who worked amazingly in the background and has really turned this into a new art form and taken this job to a highest level, along with Kathy Fahey, who we all know well, our own past Governor Hurst and Vindu, who did a really tremendous job there. And I know from the feedback we've got that it's amazing. As I said, we'll hear more about that later. Also on the call today, I think we also have Rotary International Director-elect, Eve Conway. Eve, you unfortunately had to stay over a little longer, I think, in Florida than you'd imagined with your husband, Robert. I hope Robert's feeling well, and we send our very best to you. I know you're staying with past District Governor Ron Jansen, so hang on around here. It's a great zone to be in, and get some of that Florida sunshine whilst you're here as well. So, of course, this month is Peace and Conflict Prevention and Resolution Month. And as you saw from that video, it's more pertinent now than ever. And just over the weekend, of course, you saw what's going on over the past months and year in Ukraine, and how that situation is still happening and probably won't be resolved for a long time. And Rotary's role in that, and being there from a support point of view, and as the country needs to be rebuilt, will be a significant one. And we're very good at that redevelopment and development aid, as well as the disaster aid that happens. And just over the weekend, of course, we had a sort of terrible earthquake happening in Turkey. And our hearts go out to everyone involved in that, of course. I'd just like you to know that a message from one of the district governors in the area has been received, provided us with some details how we can assist. And as always, the best way to assist in these situations at the start of a disaster is always to give. It's money that's needed more than anything. You will find the donation details on the zone website. So if you look there on our disasters page, and unfortunately it's an increasingly long one with hurricanes that have gone on in the past as well. But this is again showing an example of where Rotary steps up, and we are people of action. And thanks to Terry for getting that onto our zone website so quickly. Peace and conflict resolution. We have an impressive history as a Rotary. From the founding of the United Nations right the way through to the separate areas of focus, of course, that we focus on, and it's one of the most important ones. But those 7 areas of focus, but the other 6 directly relate to it, of course, because when we fight disease, when we provide clean water and sanitation and hygiene, when we save mothers and children, when we support education, when we grow local communities, we always promote peace. I had a chance to talk to President Jen yesterday. She was on one of the final legs of her impact tour, and she's focusing on highly impactful projects around the world within our 7 areas of focus. She'd recently been in Guatemala, focusing on the Guatemala Literacy Project. Was to go to Haiti to visit Hamwash, but unfortunately the situation on the ground there is too dangerous right now, so she's going to be finding other ways to celebrate that. She sends her best, by the way. And as we promote peace, the lasting change we seek is in line with our vision statement, and it is across the globe, as we know, within our communities, but also within ourselves. And it really starts there. But as I believe we're going to hear more from Rotary International President-elect Gordon, lasting change and peace within ourselves is not always as easy to achieve as we may think, especially in this turbulent world, where good mental health is a struggle for many of us and life-threatening for some. So that's an important focus I think we'll be thinking of more later. 2 last notes. You'll hear about it later, and you saw it earlier in the trailer, but we're exceptionally excited about the launch of our new Membership Action Plan website and database. As we know it, we call it the Membership Success Center. We've been working with the Rotary International Membership Development Team, Brian King and Jim Barnes on it for a while, as well as Paul Heisman on the IT side. And again, kudos goes out to Terry Weaver doing such an amazing job pulling that together. And it's all set to launch next Monday, the 13th at 6 p.m. So come along to that. You will not be disappointed. It really is, in my opinion, one of the most revolutionary tools that Rotary has given its members access to. And lastly, some more congratulations. I'd like to congratulate some of our leaders on being given key roles on President Gordon's committees next year. Past RI Director Peter will sit on the Election Review Committee. PDG Hurst will be on 2 committees, in fact, the Membership Growth Committee and the RI Programs Committee. Well done, Hurst. The past RI Director David is going to be the chair, no less, of the Finance Committee. Congratulations, David. And for the 2nd year running, past District Governor Cindy Covington will chair the Joint Strategic Planning Committee. And as well as, of course, having past RI President Barry as the chair of the board of the trustees, and past RI Director Stephanie as, of course, our incoming 2024-25 president, we have amazing representation. So I'm exceptionally proud of each of you. Wish you good luck and want to congratulate you for doing so well in that regard. So let's not keep you any longer. Let's get to the main event. So please join me in welcoming Rotary International's 2023 to 2024 President, R. Gordon R. McInally. And I hope I rolled well enough. Gordon, over to you.
Well, Jeremy, thank you very much. You certainly did. You rolled your R's very well there. So I'm grateful to you. And thanks for the shout out about the rugby on Saturday. It's getting to be a bit boring. As you know, that's the 3rd time running we've won the Calcutta Cup. I think we get to keep it now. So that was a great afternoon. So I want to thank you sincerely for giving me this chance to join you again in this virtual space. I recall being with you all at a similar meeting in January of last year. Now, good though it is to connect virtually, I'm particularly pleased that I will be able to be at your Zone Institute in the Bahamas in October, when hopefully, finally, we can all meet up face to face in 3 dimensions and not just in a small box on a computer screen. In thinking about what I wanted to say today, I realise that this is a very special, a very historic year for Rotary. And we're all being handed the reins of Rotary leadership at a very opportune moment, a historic moment, in fact, when Rotary has a real chance to capture the world's attention and to point the way to possibilities way beyond our own current expectations. Yet a lot of the best work that we can do is going to be supporting the continuing efforts of other people. And so in thinking about the upcoming year, I was keen to build upon what President Jennifer and other Rotary leaders have started and make it possible for even greater achievements ahead. You know, so much of the work that I will do and that everyone in Rotary leadership should do is all about continuity. Continuity means advancing the good ideas of leaders who came before us. And of course, one great example of continuity is empowering girls and women. President Jennifer set a wonderful example of this when she decided to continue President Shekhar Mehta's program, a program that, in all honesty and many respects, Rotary has been doing for years. It just took Shekhar to name it and expand it. And I want to build upon what both of these presidents have done to help girls like my two granddaughters, Ivy and Florence, and girls all across the globe. We want to help them grow into strong and fully empowered women by unlocking the potential that lies within them. I'm also very keen to fully support all of the progress we've made to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything that we do. Fully supporting DEI doesn't just mean increasing numbers, although those numbers are very important, but the most important aspect of DEI is making Rotary an open, inclusive organisation that embraces the best people, the best ideas, and the best partnerships, no matter where they come from. People need to be able to look at Rotary and see themselves, and it's up to us to ensure that they can do that. There are two other aspects of continuity that will be vitally important to the work that we do. And the first involves polio. I'm sure you all know that eradicating polio remains our top corporate priority. And there is so much we have done over the last 35 years or so, which we can be proud of, as we have followed our dream of a polio-free world. But what we need now is to create a new sense of urgency, to create that hope that we will finish the job on polio before even more outbreaks threaten the children of the world. So I need your help to help bring Rotary's dream to life. I now want to turn my focus to two elements in our vision statement: creating lasting change across the globe and in ourselves. And to do this, I want to focus on two specific, hopeful ways that we can bring these visions to life. As Jeremy has already said, the world is in conflict. The world is in turmoil. And so I think it's essential that we put an even greater focus on peace. I have no doubt that the founders of this organization would be proud of the work we have done in the past year to support the people of Ukraine as they have faced the brutal war with Russia. We saw it in the video earlier. We've donated generously. We've supported our fellow members wholeheartedly. And we have earned the respect of the Ukrainian people. But we all know that true relief, true peace will not come for the Ukrainian people, nor for that matter, the Russian people, until there is peace. And the same is true in Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria, and dozens of other places of conflict across the globe. Peace is the soil where hope takes root. And we till this soil every time we create new connections between people and find new opportunities for commonality. And so during the next year, in addition to the many wonderful exchanges we already have within Rotary, we'll be introducing virtual international exchanges that will help explore these possibilities of connection and encouraging people to speak with one another and realize that deep down we are all the same. Those of you who have heard or seen my theme speech from the International Assembly will recall my story of a lady from Thailand who helped me come to the realization that the theme for 23-24 should be create hope in the world, with her story of how Rotary had given her hope after the tsunami of 2004 that devastated so much of Southeast Asia, that robbed her of her livelihood, that robbed her of her home, and that robbed her of her family. But I have seen time and time again how Rotary has created hope and how Rotary has helped people find peace and redemption. Let me tell you about Esperance. I first met Esperance in 2007. She was an orphan of the Rwandan genocide of the mid-1990s, And when we first met, she was at the age of around 16, head of her household, caring for a brother and two sisters. At that time, she was being helped through school by a project supported by Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland and the organisation Hope and Homes for Children. Heather and I next met Esperance a couple of years later when she was about to finish school and was keen to go on to further education. Sadly, funding was unavailable and it looked as if she would miss out on that opportunity and would, like so many of her peers, have to scrabble to survive. We quickly decided that we would support her through her further education, and she enrolled at university in Kigali. All went well until her final year, when she was attacked on her way to university, and despite repeated efforts to contact her, dropped off our radar. Having not heard from her for some time, she got in touch with us again just around the time I was nominated as RI President, to say how grateful she had been to us for what we had done to her all these years ago. She spoke about how when she was first supported by Rotary and she was at rock bottom with no future, with no hope. But she went on to say that the support she had been given had given her hope, hope for a future that until then she couldn't imagine. She also spoke about how much she would like to complete her final year at university. I took the liberty of contacting the Rotary Club of Kigali Virunga to see if they could help, and without hesitation, they took her under their wing and helped her back into education and supported her through that final year of study. I'm delighted to tell you that Esperance, the girl whose name translates from the French as hope, graduated on the 16th of December last year and started her first real job in Kigali last month. The self-respect to which she was entitled had been given. The hope she had craved had been created. So in crafting what is the theme for this incoming Rotary year, I wanted to drill down to what we are all about. I wanted to issue a call to action. And I thought of that serendipitous message I had from Esperance back in the late summer of 2021. And I realized that just as with the lady from Thailand and so many others I've met down the years, hope is what we are all about. It is the building block on which all our Rotary service is founded. This is how Rotary brings lasting change to the world, one newly created hope at a time. And it also begins to explain how we help create a similar kind of change within ourselves. Because for many people on this planet, lost hope is not just a function of material poverty. All of us face challenges that threaten our well-being. Just as it takes tremendous courage to wage peace, so too it is brave to reach out and admit you need help. In the wake of the pandemic, more people than ever are hurting. Many have lost the people closest to them. Others have seen their social networks uprooted. Divisions have grown wider. Opportunities for connection have been lost. And some of those hurting the most are the children and young adults whose education and social skills building has been so badly interrupted. And to make matters worse, in many parts of the world, asking for help, especially in the field of mental health, is considered a weakness. It is not a weakness. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is brave to be vulnerable and brave to admit you don't have all the answers. Reaching out is courageous, and continuing on a path towards wellness is even more so. So I want Rotary to become known as an organisation that takes care of its members as well as the people we serve. Any mental health professional will tell you that by helping others, we essentially help ourselves. And the evidence overwhelmingly shows that doing that benefits our mental health and our well-being by reducing stress and improving our mood. The friendships developed along the way foster an incredible sense of community and camaraderie. themselves essential ingredients to mental health and wellness. So these are the plans for the year ahead, that we help bring peace to the world and soothe those afflicted by conflict, and that we help each other and our communities deal with our own internal struggles, and that we end the stigma associated with asking for help. In all these actions, the goal is to create hope, to help the world heal from destructive conflicts, and in turn, to help us achieve lasting change for ourselves. My friends, time is always the great enemy on these calls. So I'd like to close now by thanking you for having me here today, by thanking you for all you do for Rotary, and by urging you to join me as together we create hope in the world. Thank you very much indeed.
Gordon, thank you for those truly inspirational words. We greatly appreciate it, and you can know, not just hope, that we will be fully behind you as you start and continue your journey to what we know will be an amazing year as president. Thank you once again, Gordon. And as I said, I heard some great reports from International Assembly, but we'd now like to hear it directly from those DGs that were there, or representations of them. So I'd first like to welcome DGE Jordan Feathers from District 7545, to be followed by DGE Barbara Gobbi from District 6992. So Jordan, over to you.
Thank you, Director Jeremy. And who would have thought that Rotary International President-elect Gordon would be my opening act? I kid, but what an experience we had at the International Assembly at such a beautiful property as Rosen Shingle Creek in Orlando. I'm representing District 7545 that encompasses most of the state of West Virginia. I started my Rotary journey in 2015 and was my club president in 2018-19. I started to grasp the internationality of Rotary at the International Convention in Atlanta before I became president of my club. However, I started to see the impact of Rotary when I attended Chesapeake Pets outside of my district. After attending 2 more international conventions in Hamburg and Houston, the networking of Rotary became apparent to me. However, it wasn't until I started my journey of becoming a governor that I saw the family of Rotary. My classmates, that I can now say there are over 500 of us, are very important to me. And of course, our captain's class have become brothers and sisters to me. I'll start by saying that our class preparation going back to early 2021 virtually, and then when most of our class came together in Naples and through Getz in Baltimore, was top notch and prepared us for the International Assembly in such a way that there were no surprises. From Patrick, Charles, and J-Lo to Mary, Rich, and John, we had touched on every topic that was presented to us in breakouts. And as a collective zone governor class, I would venture to say that every one of us felt comfortable entering our breakout rooms and engaging with our fellow classmates. And on behalf of our class of captains, I'd like to say thank you for the thorough preparation that you put us through leading up to International Assembly. Topics and breakouts included the Rotary Action Plan as a map for the next Rotary year, creating an inclusive club culture to attract and engage our members, emphasizing our impact through service, partnerships, and foundation giving, utilizing resources at the district and club level, strengthening our diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in our district, using storytelling to convey our message to our members and the communities we serve, and how to lead change as we are planning our year ahead. Secondly, the facilitators did just that. They facilitated discussion amongst the DGEs. There were no preconceived agendas. They all seemed to be able to keep the discussions on track because, as you know, when a governor, or soon to be almost governor in this case, gets rolling, we can talk forever. And some tried, but every facilitator kept us on track and on task with the topics and the time. And I even had our very own Art McQueen as a facilitator, not once, but twice. But come to find out, he requested me in his breakout rooms because he was envious of my hair. Right, Art? The mix of governors from different zones and countries spurred great conversations. But in the end, every district has its great clubs, good clubs, and clubs that need the extra boost to get them going in the right direction. It was very reassuring to know that a governor in Germany might be having the same successes and frustrations that we are having in our corner of the world. Lastly, from my perspective as a small town guy from West Virginia, having a dual language breakout was initially intimidating because of the language barrier. And with the second language being French, which I hadn't studied since I was a freshman in high school 30 years ago, even with translation, I wasn't sure how it would go. It started off how I expected. The French governors dominated the conversation. But once we got the hang of the translation, the English-speaking side of the room jumped into the conversation, and the back and forth was fantastic. Our facilitator encouraged our engagement, and it really hit home to me how Rotary is a language we all speak without borders. And now I'd like to introduce my captain counterpart from District 6990 in Florida, Barbara Gobbi.
Wow, thank you, Jordan. Wow, what an amazing opportunity to attend International Assembly. And as much as we prepared for this extraordinary opportunity, I was still left breathless. And what I absolutely loved about attending International Assembly was the structure and flow of the learning objectives. I truly felt the support of hundreds of staff and volunteers to ensure that this coming governor's class was well equipped and prepared to lead their districts. I spoke with several of my classmates to get their takeaways as well, and I wanted to share some of their thoughts with you. Alfred Current from District 6960 noticed that our district needs are not vastly different from other districts. Literacy, basic human needs for food, shelter, and healthcare, care for the elderly and the young, and education. Chris Casella from District 6950 mentioned that he felt as if we were the most prepared governors-elect at IA. Our zones go above and beyond to prepare us for what we are about to take on, and he was so grateful for the preparation and the advisors we had along the way. And I have to agree with Chris. I assumed that all Rotary districts throughout the world poured knowledge, wisdom, and motivation into their district governors-elect, but we learned that we are the lucky ones to have such great leaders in zones 33 and 34. So thank you so much for preparing us. And now I'd like to introduce the Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 33, Billi Black. Hey, Billi.
Hey, thank you so much. Sean's gonna load up some slides here so we can quickly tell you about some upcoming adventures for you. Zone 33 on February 28th at 6 p.m. has Capturing Rotary in Action. And we have some sports photographers that are going to tell us how to catch that action and make sure that we have great action photos. Zone 34. Oh, this is our district leadership. So calling all leaders in Zone 33. The district leadership training is going to again be at Virginia Crossing, April 13th through 15th. Registration is online and available right now. You don't want to miss it. And Zone 34 has got Creating Cool Content coming up on February 20th at 6 p.m. So you see that there's lots of interesting things for you to do and learn in public image and in district leadership. Now I'd like to introduce to you Sean Paddy, who has been our public image team leader as we pull social media together and try to get a handle on it. Sean?
Thanks, Billi. So I was really happy to hear RI President-elect Gordon's mention of, social networks and how it's important that we remain connected, and it's important that we stay connected with each other and build connections. That's how we get a lot of our information across, not just to the public, but amongst ourselves. So with that in mind, zones 33 and 34 kind of undertook a process to really put a bit more effectiveness and efficiency when it comes to communication, and in particular with regards to our social media. So with that said, I just kind of want to show you guys something which some of you may be aware of already, but some of you may not, is that we've launched a whole new strategy on social media this month, actually about a little under a week ago. It kicked off with our new Facebook page for zones 33 and 34. It's the first page, everything that you would have seen before wasn't actually a page, and this is now up and running. It's available. What we want you to do is we want you to like the page and get other people to like it. On Facebook as well, what we've done is we've kind of created new groups and new events that are relevant to both zones. You can join any one of those groups, or as many as you'd like. You can follow along with events just to see what's going on. In addition to Facebook, we've also kind of relaunched our presence on Instagram. You know, a lot of people actually prefer Instagram to Facebook. Some do, some don't. But we're there, and we're going to provide as much content on it as possible. Similarly, we're also going to have a presence on Twitter. And again, you know, whichever platform you prefer, whether it's one or the other or all, you know, please follow us, like us, share it, right? Because at the end of the day, we're going to be pushing out really good content for everybody that you can share with your districts, that you can share with your clubs, that you can share with friends and members and people interested in what we do in Rotary. We've more or less unified our handle across all social media. You're seeing it on your screen right now. It's at Rotary Zones 3334. That's what you can use to get on Facebook, to get on Twitter, to get on LinkedIn. That's how you can find our official page. I'm actually also posting it into the chat box for you guys, so you can kind of get that as well. The last thing I would say is we need you guys to, you know, jump on and help us spread the word amongst your clubs, amongst your districts, amongst your members. The more traction we can get on it, the more information that gets out to people, the right information gets out to people, and we can really just, you know, help kind of build better connections amongst ourselves and amongst the rest of us, you know, across the world. I will also be sharing some files in the chat box. If you'd like to download it, you can share it via your own social media. You can share it amongst your clubs. You can share it via WhatsApp, whatever you'd like. Thank you so much. I'd like to kind of hand it over now to the Major Gifts Officer from Zone 33, who's Laurie Menzel. Laurie?
Great. Thank you very much, Sean. It's terrific to be with you all this afternoon. I have the pleasure today of either introducing you to or refreshing you as to who all we have on the Major Gifts Officer team, that's a mouthful, in Zone 33 and 34. We're really lucky that we have a team of 4 Major Gifts Officers in Zone 33 and 34. We serve all the Rotarians in all the districts. Our main responsibility is to work with Rotarians who are considering gifts of $10,000 or more, and that might be through outright giving, through stock gifts, IRA, pledges, or perhaps Rotarians are considering a gift through their estate plan. So maybe they are doing beneficiary designations or different things, the way they can include the Rotary Foundation in their estate plan. We also work with districts when they are considering $1 million dinners or legacy campaigns that might be called by a few different things, but really the goal is to raise $1 million or more for new gifts to the Rotary Foundation. You can see the 4 of us here up on the screen. We have Carl Davis, who serves the southern part of Zone 33. We have Kevin Kelly, who is the newest gift officer to the zone. However, he's not new to Rotary. You can see the districts highlighted in that are bolded. Those are the ones in the Pennsylvania area that he serves. I serve the northern part of Zone 33. And then we have Deborah Lowe, who takes care of all of Zone 34. With the 4 of us, I looked the other day and you have over 30 years of experience on staff with the Rotary Foundation. So please contact us. We're here to help with anything related to major gifts. And just also want to say thank you so much for your generosity and for your trust in your contributions to the Rotary Foundation. So with that, I am going to hand it over to Past District Governor and Rotary Coordinator, Terry Weaver.
Thanks, Laurie. As Jeremy said, our Membership Action Plan team has been at work on a Hollywood premiere for our MAP webinar in February. That's at 6 p.m. on Monday, February 13th. So what's the big deal? Well, Zone 33 teams have been working on making membership data more meaningful to the average club and district leader for about 5 years. And we've watched the membership performance of thousands of Rotary clubs for those same 5 years and learned that Yogi was right. You can observe a lot by watching. A week from now, February 13th, we're rolling out a completely new and different source of membership information, the Membership Success Center. Of course, the source data is from RI reports. The difference is they're packaged so the average club leader can get directly to the pertinent data for their own club in about 2 or 3 mouse clicks. So what's different? First, this is predictive data, what you want from your stockbroker. You want to know what stocks will go up, not those that did. We know that attrition is real, but we regularly forget halfway into the year that our clubs will lose on average about the same number of members this year as in the past. And some of those people just haven't identified themselves yet. So clubs start feeling good about being up by 2 or 3 members in March or April, completely forgetting that they have another 4 or 5 members likely to terminate by the end of June. They just haven't told us who they are. That happens when they get their first quarter invoice and the club falls into the red for the year. By looking at a club's attrition history, together with their membership growth goal, we can predict the number of new members they'll need to attract, and we can track their progress against that pace of new member attraction month by month. They know exactly how far they're ahead or behind the pace needed to succeed, and that way they're not surprised by 2 or 3 late-breaking terminations that drop them into the red in June. Moreover, we need to understand what problem we're trying to solve. Is it high attrition, low attraction, both, or neither? The Membership Success Center diagnoses that for you and then provides personalized prescriptions of suggested strategies for your club's specific situation. And it delivers an easy to deploy member satisfaction survey. Now, this is something we've always told clubs to do, but few ever have. Most find it such a daunting project, they just move on to something else. Again, in 3 or 4 mouse clicks, a club can create a member satisfaction survey and a link they can easily distribute to members by email or text. Of course, that club's responses all roll up into their own survey's result, and from there, club leaders have some insight into how to make their club more irresistible. Folks, you've never seen Rotary information data delivered this way. Don't miss this premiere on February 13th. You'll be surprised at how valuable this knowledge will be to your current and incoming club leaders. Now it's my pleasure to hand off to past Governor Chris Justice, the innovative club advocate for District 7690. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Terry. On behalf of the Zoomformation crew and all of those in attendance, I'd like to thank all of our speakers for a great program. Sean really raised the bar, playing a soundtrack during his segment. Gordon, if you're jealous, we will be able to go in post-production and drop some beats in behind your comments if you like. Just let us know. All right, let's take a look at some of the upcoming events. On your screen, you will see February 7th, Zones 33, 34, Rotary Works Career Conversation Club 27. February 13th, as you guys have heard, this is going to be also a Membership Action Plan webinar. That's number 7, and that's going to be the official unveiling of the Membership Action Plan tool that you've heard so much about. Empowering Girls Office Hours is on February 15th. The Zone 34 Public Image webinar coming in at February 20th. February 23rd, we will have the TRF Projects of Impact webinar, and February 28th, Zone 33 Public Image webinar. Make sure you also plan to register for and attend the next Zoomformation session, which will be held on March 6th.